gross.
And like my appetite is, I mean, aside from like wanting to stress eat, my appetite is like gone, like a regular eating schedule. I'm like, I guess it's time for another meal.
Yeah.
Oh man. Honestly, it's weird because it kind of goes, it doesn't go totally against everything. Like it's still like my eating schedule is off because like I like a lot of times, like I'm not overeating, I'm forgetting to eat.
Right.
I'll just be like, oh yeah, this is normally the time where I go outside and then go get something to eat. But there's no outside anymore, so I
guess I don't eat.
I guess I don't eat at this time, so I'll just drink some water,
and that's a really telling thing about us, that I guess we don't cook because we have to go out to eat.
Not all the time, honestly. Sometimes that's been my diet. Actually, my most recent diet that's been the most successful for me has been laziness. Like just not eating,
honestly,
and then only buying water. Like we only have the like the seltzer waters. We don't have we don't buy soda or anything. So we have water, coffee, and wine in the house. That's it.
Yeah.
All of those are healthy. Yeah.
Liquid diet.
Not my
You're
wine.
On a cleanse.
My wine.
Yeah. We're basically on a cleanse.
Yeah. My wine's pure sugar, though. It's Moscato.
Yeah.
It's fine. You got to get it somewhere.
Yeah, definitely.
Vitamins, right?
Mm-hmm.
So welcome to the show. How you doing?
Good. Pat, I can see half of your face.
Should I scoot over more?
Yeah, I think you should.
There.
Because that was who else were we what was our last episode? And they said the same thing. Oh, Brian.
Yeah.
Brian was like, he's like, I don't know if it matters.
I was just like, I mean, it's...
yeah, but I can see half of your face.
It's can like
more of me now.
Here, I can scoot.
There. Oh, there we go.
Is that better?
There.
Yeah.
Good.
Jeez.
Yeah,
I was like, Pat should probably be in the podcast. Yeah,
I appreciate you addressing. First of all, I appreciate you addressing it so early. Brian waited a long. That was like at the end of the show. He was like, I don't only see half of you. I was like, oh, for this part? He's like, no, the whole time. I was like, what?
I feel like that'd be upsetting to realize upon editing. You're like, I'm not in this.
Well, right. He can't see it. It doesn't edit. It doesn't matter with like the recording.
Yeah.
That's why he didn't notice it. But it does. That does stink for you on that end to only see half of them.
It could also be like sometimes I know with like we're learning about a lot about like Zoom and stuff like that, and a lot of the videos.
Yeah.
Like I'm still trying my best not to look at me.
Yeah.
It's so hard.
It's
how do you not?
And I'm like, why? I don't want to look at the green light. First of all, I want to look at so I'm going to look here. So I'll look right below the green light.
Right.
It's still not right. Then when she talks, we did an episode where we actually may do another one later on today. Surprise.
We talked about it last night.
Okay, good.
Okay. You forgot.
I was already taking
too much wine.
I was taking my wine. No, but is when we do like a live Zoom, like we still want to do episodes just us and have other people join in and stuff like that if they want. But when we're talking like this, I don't know, should I look at her on the screen here for the video?
Right, or the camera screen? Yeah. I typically look at the person. I feel like when you look at the camera screen, it's like, all right, I'm uncomfortably looking at the viewer.
Yeah, that's like real eye contact.
I'm so present right now.
Yeah.
Please go on, Ngoc. What else? How else have you been holding up in the whole pandemic thing? I don't even know if it's working. But yeah, but how? Like seriously though, how have you like?
Yeah, how you been?
Are you working? Are you?
I am working, so I'm glad I have a job. So I'm still at my same job, but now we're like full-time remote, which like isn't awful, but at the same time, it's so weird to like try to stay focused and present with everything else going on. So I'm like reminding myself, like, I'm just grateful to be employed and everyone's in the same boat. But at the same time, it's so hard to be like, I'm not as productive as I usually am.
Right.
I like obviously care about the deadlines I have in some sense, but I'm like, I really, in the grand scheme of things.
There's still a level of like professionalism. Like, I feel like that, like, or like, there's still like a hands-on feeling that I think a lot of people miss. And a lot of people, like, there's still like a thing of, we all are adapting well. I feel like we all are, like, we've adapted. I think we've actually, been able to stay consistent and and still feel
We're trying to take
productive.
advantage
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
the situation.
But it's also like I miss like talking. I miss performing. Like, you know what I mean? Like
Oh
I miss
yeah.
that stuff. I miss all those, like the other elements of it that were like just the little things that you realize, like you said, like like going into if we could go into offices or work one day a week,
Hmm.
somewhere
Yeah,
physical or something like that. I'm sure some kind of physical contact, hugging, seeing people and saying
You're
like,
right.
hello.
Well, I was just
like,
saying, so I've recently gotten into like regular contact again with my group of like good college friends, and like we're able to talk like whenever, like it's like one of those groups of people you could text anybody out of the blue and like everyone's down to catch up. But now we do like a regular catch up once a week because a lot of people are like living on their own.
right.
And I was just thinking back on it because like we'll get together like once or twice a year, not like the entire group, but I was like with that friend group, we are like all so physical with each other, like
Yeah.
like platonic touch is like huge in our group, which is like not normal, I think, among people. But like I was like with any of those people, I could just like canoodle with them on the couch, or like you could just come up from behind and hug someone.
Right.
And it's so hard to like be on a Zoom call and be like, oh man, I can't do that.
Yeah.
You're like,
Um,
I like there's something about like that, like it's a weird thing. I were even the jujitsu. I've been like that.
yeah,
It's something, it's weird. Like you said, it's hard to explain that, to say like I really miss like people trying to like kill me. Do you know what I mean? Like simulating people killing me, like that kind of thing of like it's, I know it's not the same, trust me, but
No.
it must be the same kind of thing of like I miss like, oh, is that like, oh, you miss like cuddling with your boyfriend? No, just my friend.
yeah.
Yeah, I just miss cuddling with my friend. Like, what? Oh, okay, so like I guess that's the thing is, are you guys, are they quarantined too? Are they out of town or?
Yeah, so we're like spread all over. Like I have a friend in Idaho, one in Ohio. Most people are in Philly or Washington. Um, so it's just like, and like half of them are like coupled up, so it's like great. But they're like, we need outside contact.
Yeah.
Um,
Yes.
and I
Yeah.
think it's just hard to be cooped up.
I hired someone yesterday, and like you have like a way of doing things. So at the end of it, we were all done, and I usually would be like, all right, you did it, we made it, and we high five.
Yeah,
And then like I started to, I was like, no, I'm not gonna high five, I'm sorry. But it was so weird that it was just such a like natural
right.
reaction to like touch. Like we did
Yeah.
it, high
But-
five. And then I was like, oh no, I'm sorry.
But again, that's the thing, is like learning this during the pandemic and everything like that, going like, oh, turns out like, oh, I'm this type of person.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes.
Like,
Yeah. You really find out like, but you know what I'm really excited about is not, it's sometimes awkward for me when I'm around other comics, like if we're at a mic or something.
yeah, she said
Yes.
she misses
Oh my
open.
God.
She said
Well,
she
yes, I do
misses
miss
open
those.
mics.
But
Can you
there
believe
would
that?
be like,
She does. She don't even do comedy. She misses open mics. That's how fucking
There's
desperate we are right now for
there's
contact.
something so pleasing though, I think, when you're not involved in it, to watch a shit
Oh,
show.
yes.
Like
Okay,
that like
Oh.
I completely
Yeah, she
understand.
was just gonna say like she's surrounded by like. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead. When you're surrounded by the comics.
oh, I'm just excited to not like, because there would be awkwardness where like sometimes people would try to hug me and I'm like, I don't want to hug you. And so now
I
I'm just, like,
don't understand
perfect.
that.
like
I
no
was saying
hugging.
that too.
Yeah. And like there's some like I like the first person, I don't know why. Well, I mean, I know why, but Lemaire is like, I'll hug Lemaire.
Yeah.
I
Right.
feel comfortable with it. But like other comics, I'm like, we're friends, but like, oh.
You're not gonna catch.
Well, I think
anything
there's
else.
some people where their demeanor, you can tell they like hug everyone and it's
Yeah.
just like a friendly thing. But
Yeah.
there are some people where you're like, are you targeting me? and it's,
Right.
and it's
So,
like, I don't know.
I'm excited to not have to worry about that.
Yeah, and it's like, how do I turn this down without looking
Right.
rude? But it's like, and it's like, I this is not a dig at anyone, but I think with comics, a large amount of us tend to have like issues reading social cues.
Yeah, I can see
So
that.
like, and like, I think naturally as adults, like there are just people you're going to be more compatible with and feel more comfortable with.
Yeah.
And I think with comics, there's like a sense of insecurity where like, oh, well, if they're cool with that person, I must be cool with them too. And you're like, no, we're not there yet.
Yeah.
I think, and I made that, luckily I didn't, not with like hugs or anything like that, but I made that mistake before with like thinking like, oh yeah, you guys, I'm friends with these guys, so we're friends, right? And like, and it's like, no, that doesn't. And I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot. This is still real life. It's still,
yeah. I don't
know.
It's still like you're still a stranger. Don't worry. Like, we'll hug maybe like if we get to know each other. But I don't even know exactly what your name is. Like if you didn't write it down on a list, for me to say, I don't remember who you are. And that's not and again, not a dig to you. It's just, and it's not saying like, oh, I don't. It's literally saying like, you're a stranger.
Right.
Like, that's the thing. Why would I hug you?
And it's like if you only see each other once a week, and it's like when I was a new comic, I was like I like one of my quips that I try to work on is I'm very quick to judge, and not necessarily in a negative sense, but I'm like, okay, this is what they're saying for 5 minutes. That's who that person is. That's all I know about them. So like, I don't agree. Like that.
And you're like, I definitely
don't want to know you.
Right. And people will be like, oh, that like so-and-so is such a nice guy. You should like get to know them. I'm like, are they?
Yeah. I feel like when you're on stage, it's kind of your truer self.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
Don't like what they're saying on stage. That's probably where you need to judge.
Right. I'm like, I get that sometimes it's like, all right, I'm going to try this. But I'm like,
yeah,
my dude.
But you can
this
tell.
This is still your first impression for some people.
Right.
So if it doesn't, like, if you don't at least like get your point across, like that's the thing, is like saying like, where at the end of it, you're like, was that a veiled threat?
Right. Right. It's like, where was the joke, or are we just sharing?
Are we
story time?
Are we sharing? So yeah, exactly. That's one of those things of like, because some people, like a lot of people, like go to open mics, like either going, oh, I've got poetry, I have music, I have comedy, cool. But then other people just go like, it's just like,
this is my podium.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I get 5 minutes.
Yeah,
and they can't tell me. I can call it whatever I want, and they can't tell me it's not that. And like, so like, it's definitely it's
gotta take the good with the bad.
Like honestly, I would feel like that's like the original trolls. Like that's like people inadvertent, like they just go there to go like.
But I have more respect for them because they're getting up in front of people.
And that's why you don't get it. Exactly. That's why you don't get it a lot. You can't put. You can put down a fake name, but people are still going to see
you.
Yeah.
Right.
For
sure.
You
can't hide your identity, but you're showing your face.
Profile picture there. So
I'm going to ask this question too. I feel like you guys might be on the same page as me. Do you find handshakes more uncomfortable than hugs?
Yeah. I feel like
because
it's more intimate.
I don't even necessarily see it that, because I think most people are like, oh, it's inappropriate to hug you, so let's handshake. I'm like, or we can just not touch.
Right.
I just
go, that's how I feel.
I go fist bump, I go elbow.
Because I've gone to give like, and this is in that same vein of like hugging comics, where I've gone to shake their hand, and they're kind of like, you're gonna shake my hand, you're not gonna hug me, or like
right.
It's like it's hard to. I can't remember. It might have been Hambone, honestly.
Honestly, if he doesn't get it by now,
but that was when I first met him. But it's happened a couple times where I've gone in for a handshake and they've kind of looked at me like, what? So it's gauging what's appropriate. Like, are we colleagues? Are we friends? And so somebody get offended. We're like, I get a handshake. I thought we were friends. So it's just better. Let's not touch.
Yeah.
Let's not hurt anybody's feelings.
Boundaries.
Which is like the great part of this. I'll be like, no, never again. They'd be like, I definitely would not risk my life to touch you.
Yes. Yeah. My store, when this first all happened, somebody was tested for COVID that works with me. So we had to have somebody come in and like clean the store on like a biohazard team. So then when they were done, I met them back up there so I could lock up the store. And he went to shake my hand. And I was like, no. And then he was like, oh, I'm so sorry. But I was like, I feel bad because it's not that I don't want to shake your hand. Right. You just like.
I think it's a hard habit to break.
It's going to be a very hard habit. But it was just so funny because I'm like, you literally just got out of like
Yeah.
Like a suit, like you had a mask on, you had like gloves and
but it's
shoe coverings. Like,
that's one of those things of like it like that used to be. It's so funny how like this is going to be the coolest thing. So like how this is okay. So you were talking about that like as far as we like to we've been asking people a lot of times like what's your half glass full moment, what's your silver lining, and honestly, so with you, boundaries, awesome. and honestly, if I have ever like, because that's one of those things too that like once I've met somebody and I've seen them hug somebody, like I go like, do they expect to hug?
Right.
This boundary thing, and I'd never know with somebody, so I always try to be. I don't want to be disrespectful or like make them think that like I'm like fuck you or something. So I always offer something. So if I've ever hugged you and it wasn't welcome, I apologize.
We're cool. We're cool with hugging, Pat.
Okay, good. So and I will always make sure that everyone consents to my hugs at any point. I even do it with her.
Yeah, but you do.
Is it okay if I hug
Is it
you
okay
right
if I
now?
hug you?
But I think the hug is less. I still think the hug is less. I think it's more of a cool like a less thing because hands like I don't know.
Just like people
you learn a lot from
hands.
someone's hands. Like you touch their hand and you're like you're okay. So you're sweaty or you
have
cold?
soft hands. Oh, you've got rough hands.
A lot of times my hands can be cold. Like I have cold hands, so it's like. So somebody thinks that like, it's like Pat has poor circulation, but like, do you know what I mean? Like there's a lot of things to it. Like if they're like dirty, like germy, there's a lot of things you don't.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Like when someone has like sticky or like clammy hands, and I'm like,
why'd you offer that? And you're like, why'd you offer that? You know what your hand feels like. Why'd you do that? So like,
right.
So when somebody goes in to hug you, you know what I
mean? There's varying
like,
levels of hug, like contact with hugging too. It'd be like one arm, or like you don't have to like completely hug, like it's a pat.
Yeah.
But like I'm even okay with like the arm squeeze, like that's fine. Yeah. But like it's just full skin on skin contact.
Yeah.
So I mean, so I that's a lot of things with like the silver lining thing of like of not having to even do that thing. Like now you have the built-in thing.
It won't be taboo. It won't be like
right.
Everyone's going to understand when I go, I'm not going to hug you. Your feelings won't get hurt. And that's what I care about. I don't want to hurt somebody's feelings. I know you probably don't care, but that's what goes through my head.
Well, like I said, I don't want it to seem like it's not like I'm not friendly. Like you said, because that's just how I view it is like literally like you're completely covered. We're both covered here. So we can just do this. And we can just go pat. I even give the pats. I don't give a swirl. Yeah. I don't like rub or anything like that. Like
my gosh, I swirl.
You swirl? That's inappropriate. That's basically cheating.
Is it okay? Is it swirl upper back? It's fine.
Oh yeah.
Swirl lower back is
like hello.
I thought you were talking about like a swirl, like you're figure eighting.
No. Not like. No, not when I'm hugging. Like I would come up to like that.
Oh my gosh.
Because I was thinking when you said pat like this, like you would like, hey buddy. That's what I was thinking. Was one hand.
If I'm hugging somebody,
I'm not that's cheating.
That's essentially cheating.
That is so true. That is true.
Oh man. But that's innuendo.
Yeah.
I think there's been that for I think a lot of people. I think there's a level to like I don't know how many people are going to return to comedy or anything like that. Like a lot of people obviously are like have you done any like virtual mics or anything like that?
I've done very few. I did it like the second weekend and I was like, I cannot because I was like mentally am I not there, but emotionally I'm not prepared for the amount of like again, like the pedestal people. I was like, I can't do this.
Yeah.
Like, especially in the comfort of my own home.
Yeah.
Like usually you go to an open mic, you're like, I can't wait to go home.
Yeah.
But when you're doing a virtual open mic and sitting in the comfort of your home, feeling this like grossed out, it's
that is
wrong.
so
There's
true.
a disconnect.
Just,
so I've been
and then like turn your computer off and then like go like, well, do I turn it back on and just do what I do at
home?
How
do you escape? Like,
where do you go?
Yeah.
Oh,
right, exactly.
That's
a really good point.
And honestly, because that's the thing is like I've done Lemaire's game show. I've done Feud and stuff
Yeah.
like that. I've done like podcasts and stuff like that. These have been fine. These have been
Yeah.
enjoyable, and they're fun to like catch up with people and talk to everybody. Like, because like performing, I miss performing. Like stand up, like to me, like there's been a lot of goals that I've set for myself of things that
Yeah.
like, I want to go back to, like those things that
I
like
feel like you were like hitting milestones too with
Mhm.
like your competitions and everything.
I don't. Well, I appreciate you saying that, but I no
You were doing really.
competitions were still pretty much the same.
You were on a good like arc.
But
you were.
I was set to, during this pandemic, I was set to headline a festival. I was.
Oh, that's awesome. Can
Yeah.
I ask which one?
It
Sorry.
was no. It was the it was like a friend, one that like Williamsport.
Oh wait, I was gonna do that one. So
Yeah.
my goal was to like I was also, I feel like everyone was like hitting like a good stride.
Yeah.
And so I was really excited because I had just like hit a year mark, and my goal was just to like submit to festivals, and I had 2 that weekend, and that was one of them.
Exactly.
And I was, man, it was just like that week of like receiving cancellations was such a bummer.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying is like those things. I'm like I okay, cool. We can reschedule. We can redo this. We can redo that. But like I've missed even just like being able to go like just going out and like just like I'm not nervous at all. Like that's the thing is like I think that's been my silver line. Like I've I've talked about it a couple times of like this is brought out the worst part of me, but the worst part of me is just thriving right now. And
What
like
do you mean?
like the fact that I'm enjoying how many people are struggling. I'm like certain people that are struggling, certain businesses and people that have wronged me and things like that.
Okay.
I'm just like, hey man, fuck you. You know, like I'm I'm used to being in an uncomfortable place and uncomfortable position. So I'm like, I'm just ready to get back on the stage. I'm not nervous about it. I'm not like, oh, what if am I gonna do old jokes? I don't fucking care.
Just go up there and
I'm
talk.
gonna go up there and just fucking talk. I don't give a shit, and it's gonna be great.
And that's what it's gonna be for a couple of months. Like when open mics do, that's all that it's gonna be. Is just people just talking.
Venting.
But I was just thinking, I was just
someone
like,
had a day.
but I was thinking, I was like, man, open mics are gonna be horrendous. Like the amount of people, like, and it's like everyone's gonna have the same content because we're all just been cooped up.
Mhm.
But I was like, man, but if you kill at that open mic, it's gonna kill. Like you're gonna
And
kill
that's what I'm
like
saying,
you've never killed before.
Yeah.
I don't know how many people are gonna make it back. Do you know what I mean? Like I don't know. There's gonna be people that are nervous about it. There's gonna be people that are like, I don't have time to put that back in.
They're too scared. Like
I think my thing was that I don't know that I would feel comfortable going back into a room because I think more people are going to be going out that aren't normal comics, because I'd be like, okay,
a good idea is to do, because hopefully it would be in the summertime or maybe towards the fall, do them outside, get like 10.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And then you know, bars and stuff that are doing it, like figure out a way, because you'll get more people because they'll feel more comfortable.
I've toured a lot than doing outside comedy.
But just to get
outside comedy is such, I was like, this is the one time it will work.
But I think it would work if you do it at night. I would definitely do it at night. Like, don't do it during the day.
Don't do it near train tracks. I've learned. Don't do it next to air conditioners. I've learned.
I don't know that you want to necessarily book shows, but you should really reach out to wineries, just not the one in wherever that one was.
What is it? Three Friends Winery?
Yeah.
Those pieces of shit that don't pay their. Don't ever go.
Well, the winery would be awesome.
I hope they're out of business, but I don't know.
They're probably not.
Yeah, they're probably not.
Yeah, I feel like alcohol. Anybody's thriving.
I feel like I'm contributing too. I make sure anytime I buy wine, it's not from them. But I think that I don't know. Like, I really don't know how many people are actually going to come back like from that, and just. But I think the solution would be. I think, because now this is the thought I had during that. Like, I was thinking that's just like I'm like, I don't know. Okay, so there's not a lot of art forms that I'm good at. So the art forms that I feel like I like to do, or I feel like I've done enough that I can speak on it or whatever. I feel like comedy is one of those things that, like, it's we've seen like comics really take real shit for fucking jokes or for things, and whether people, whatever it may be, whoever it may be offended, there is real danger and there's real risk with being a true comic, which a true comic being like somebody who's just fearless, say whatever you want to say, because that's what a comic is supposed to do, is you can say anything you want, but you have to make it either relatable, funny, or whatever it may be. Like funny, obviously, but so now I feel like the comics that are ones that are saying, I don't mind going into a room full of people that are all facing me, laughing at me. Now the true risk is now a visible risk.
Right.
So now it's truly represented, the risk of a comic, and I feel like the comics that aren't scared, and that's the thing. I am dying to get back on stage.
So what if
I don't give a shit. Pack the room, shoulder to shoulder. I would rather do that. Again, go out on your shield, right? Isn't that like a term? Like basically you're going out doing what
like
you
dying
love.
on your sword.
Yeah, dying. Yeah, either way, shield, sword. Either way, somebody's dying. Somebody didn't use the equipment correctly, and they're dying on it. You're not supposed to die on it. You're supposed to use it so you don't die.
What if they say they'll do that, but they have to wear face masks? Do you think that's? But how do you think that's going to sound? Like the laughter, it's going to muffle, and you're not going to get that. I mean, obviously, you're going to do it no matter what, but. I wonder what kind of experience.
I want to.
How much that'll affect the experience.
I want to be the first comic to get somebody to choke on their mask, like go like, and like, oh my god, that's so funny. I had to like put my life
That's the new
risk.
spit take.
Yes, that's what I want, and I'm willing to go in there and fucking do it. I will. I am happy to go in there.
I'll be in the back of the room, all the way to the back.
Yeah, well, I think it comes down to that question. It's just that people, it's hard to, in my personal opinion, like gauging about coming back, is that people don't have as much personal agency for their own well-being. So then it doesn't translate to whether or not I can trust other people, because they're like, oh, I don't care if I'm sick, or like, I don't care if I get sick. So it's like, how many people are going to go in there in good health? Exactly, is my issue.
Especially if they're saying like, "Hey, we've done everything open." Like they're like, people are trusting businesses more than they're trusting like governments and stuff like that.
Right.
So like they see a business open, they're like, "Well, they must know what they're doing." So if there's no tape on the floor, they probably got something figured out. That other like, it's weird how visual we are like that.
And I think it's also like I've been like comparing, like I have a few friends who are like working abroad, where it's like people living in what they call collectivist society versus individualistic, where it's just like, so you see like Asian countries or like more social countries are like willing to like isolate, and they're like, yeah, fine, however long it takes, that like for the better of everyone else. Whereas like countries like us, like we're just like, get us out. We don't care.
and it's funny too, because like there's so many people that I feel like were like patting themselves on the back, that were going, that are saying like, I've stayed in quarantine for this long, now you owe me. Like they didn't give you a timeline. They never said that this is going to be this long. They said until here, and then we'll reassess. Like every time it's been that. And I understand that like small businesses not being like, that's the struggle part of it. That's the part that's supposed to be hard.
Sure.
Like, it sucks, but it's like one of those things of like, you can't say I did my part, now that place that's open isn't doing their part, so I should get their goodwill and they should be closed down. Why shouldn't they make you know what I mean? Like,
right. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah. I've been.
There should be a standard for sure, but I feel like people are definitely saying like, look at this business, they're doing it wrong. I'm a business, I want to do it right. Like I'm not getting the opportunity. Like it's weird things like that. And like, that's how separated we are, is like just person to person. We're like snitching on each other. Whereas like, there's other countries that are like, hey guys, why don't we just all just hunker down? We'll get there.
And it comes down to, I think we just have a broken government that isn't kind of seeing the bigger
Wait a minute.
picture.
What do you mean? Hold on.
What? Am I what?
Our
Like,
government?
okay.
Hold on, wait a minute. Hold on, these are hot takes coming out here. What, are we back at the open
I
mic
guess
now? Sorry.
my thing is just I wish we could. I know
The alarm's about to go off. I'm going to close those windows. We have a fire alarm that's going to go off. Hold on.
The big thing I know the United States is like the history of it is we can have our own choices. We have states and you can I don't know, police it or whatever differently state by state. But that's what's making it so hard and separating people, because certain states are doing things. I wish we could just all collectively, as the United States, say, this is what we're going to do, instead of having it in all these different places, because people are like, oh, New York or Florida's open. I'm going to leave New York and I'm going to go to Florida. And then I'll come back to New York whenever. But it's just like, it's defeating the purpose. Like, I just wish there was consistency, because having it be crazy, like different everywhere is just confusing.
Well, I think it's also hard. I was just noticing how little we learn or study from other countries. Like, I think like as a collective, we are probably the least educated when it comes to like world history and like actual world events. So when the virus came, we were not as educated and people weren't as aware. So like the whole quarantine for most people, I think, came out of the blue.
Do you know?
Whereas like
that's what I'm saying. Like how many pieces of media that we have taken in through our eyeballs during this goddamn thing. How many movies and TV shows we've seen that have been like, wash your hands, don't touch your face. Like there's episodes on every
we literally have a huge game called Pandemic that people love.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like we have, and it's like that's like it's in our culture. It's even we've tried to educate our like even Americans by saying like we turned it into a fucking board game. Please learn how to prevent this. Like don't do this anymore. And we are both coasts are like the worst right now, right? Aren't they?
Yeah.
It's crazy. Like that's nuts. Like I'm sorry, you were saying how much that was there, and I was just thinking like it's nuts that not only do we know that this has happened before, but it's been brought to our attention, like even like through like podcasts, through board games, through movies. Outbreak, we watched
that the first weekend.
Contagion.
Well, it's like, and the fact that everyone viewed it as a joke. Like I remember I first knew it broke out like probably January, because I listened to like BBC podcasts and stuff. And so I was like aware that stuff, and like my parents are like have like family members like abroad and everything too. So like they were like, you should take it seriously. And like I like personally, I like remember telling people like, don't freak out. Like obviously like act rational and stuff, but it's not here. Like just do what you can, like be safe. Like we don't know much about the virus. But it was like so awful hearing people joke about it continually every week, and then to see people turn around so quickly and be so pissed. I'm like, well, what did you expect? Like shit was gonna hit the fan. Like we weren't taking it seriously, and I think it blew up on everybody. But the fact too, I think the fact that like our upbringing, like I can't tell you anything about like actual influenzas and like plagues abroad, other from like little tidbits that I knew. Like I knew about the Spanish flu, and I was like, oh man, we are reliving it a century later. But like the fact that we don't know anything about other government or like healthcare organizations and how they handle those things, I think really harms us. But like we're taught growing up that like America's the greatest country because like we're taught to value our freedoms and stuff. But then it's like, okay, other countries are obviously handling this well. So like every government and like country has its own like strengths and weaknesses. But obviously this is a huge weakness of ours. And it doesn't help for us to like continually pound in that we're doing great. But
yeah, not to pound in like that we're doing great, but also just to say like to openly mock other countries, like just to
Oh yeah.
say like glass houses, man. Like what the
Yeah.
fuck is like? It's not even saying like, okay, maybe, because again, there's some states that may be doing it like that, may be handling it more rationally or trying to handle it a little bit better, and then there's other states. But either way, like you shouldn't openly criticize anybody. It's a fucking pandemic. Why is anybody
Right.
criticizing anybody?
Yeah.
If
Right.
somebody has a thing that is working, why don't you just try to use that thing or praise them and say they found a thing that's working? We're going to try that thing that's working here, or we're
Right.
going to ask them, how can we do that here? And that's how it should be. But it's not. It's so fucking weird. Like, not weird, I guess. It's not, again, that sounds like ignorant to say like that, like it wasn't like that before, but
Right.
it just sucks to see that, like, how split it is. Do you know what I mean?
I remember
Yeah.
when Trump was elected, and I was like, I really hope something crazy doesn't happen while he's in office.
Oh my God, for sure. I was just like, I
I'm
was
like,
like, this cannot be good.
yeah. I was like, this isn't good no matter who's in charge, because
Right.
nobody knows how to, like, you're
A
going to make the wrong
nightmare.
decisions. How you don't know how to react to it. But for him, I was like, no. And then he was mocking it in the beginning, which doesn't help. Like how, like, you're setting a tone for a lot of people that are your followers and that do believe everything that you say, and you're mocking this, and that's not good. Like, even if you don't think it is anything, that's okay. You can feel that way, but for the greater good, like, you have to, like, put on a front. Just be like, let's take this serious.
Yeah, for sure. When I think it also comes down to like, our country has a literacy level of like, I think the 7th or 8th grade,
Yeah.
where it's like, okay, we obviously need people in charge to make decisions for us,
Mhm.
because not everyone is at the same like rationale or like of that mindset to like see things in a bigger picture or to understand the magnitude of like such decisions. And now to just be like, give, social responsibility falls upon the people, and you're like,
Uh-oh. Shit. We're in trouble.
right.
And that's the thing is like there's a lot of things that are people I think disguise or confuse for like conspiracy theories. There's things that people are like, oh, this is that, but it's like it's not really, like, there's a lot of things where they're trying to control us. Like, they already do. Like,
Oh yeah, for
I don't know
sure.
what you're talking about. Like, where they say like they're trying to get our this or that. Like, you're sending them DNA. You're posting your face on. Like, they got my face. I'm all over.
I was like, if you
like,
have any sort of device,
yeah, it's
you've
over.
already given up your freedom.
I
You're fine. Like,
I joke about it all the
Yeah.
time with we spoke about him earlier, Lemaire. We were hanging out. We were taking medicine together. We were at his couch in Philly, and he's like he freaks out and he turns his phone. He like turns his phone off. And I said, "Why are you turning your phone off?" And he's like, I just freaked out. I don't want him to like. I was like, so you don't want people like to like track you or listen to you? And he's like, yeah. And I was like, oh, so do you think they would make it that easy for you to just turn it off? Now they can't track you anymore? And he's like, and he just kind of looked at it and he's just like, yeah. And I was like,
You're screwed.
You're done for, buddy. Like, whatever,
yeah.
anything you've done, like, so there's a,
For me though, I don't care. Like, I'm not doing anything.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like, and I was
Right.
like, we were just
it
sitting
does
there.
make my life a lot easier to have a smartphone and to do stuff
Right.
like this. So
Yeah.
whatever, like, take whatever.
Well, and I was like, why of all people would they care about you? Like, when
Right.
people are like, I'm like, what do you have going on?
Yeah.
That is a huge threat to our country.
Yeah. Yeah.
And anybody with a podcast is a huge threat to this country. You know that.
Oh yeah, for sure.
We're speaking the truth out here.
Yeah, we did.
But actually, what we do like to do on the show is there's a fun thing that we bought. We're a literate family. We have books in this
All right,
house.
while you explain this, I have to pee so bad. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, you're fine. You're fine. I'll explain this. We were at a bookstore and we found this. We were trying to think of like fun things to do on the show and everything. So we got this book. It's called.
Was it Midtown Scholar? That's my favorite bookstore.
It was more of a corporate chain, but we do go to Midtown Scholar. But that place is awesome. That was a place that we used to do shows at every other month.
Joey Tepedino was telling me that. He's like, I did a show there once. I was like, they do shows?
Yeah.
I know they do like reading events.
I would host it. It was first Friday. Yeah, first Friday. It was the first Friday of every month. They would have a comedy show in the young adult section in the back. So it would be me and another comic, Wes, that would host it every other month. So I would host every other month. He would host.
Okay.
And we're allowed to book whoever we want. We're allowed. I think it was like an hour or two amount of time or something like that. I suggested putting up notes saying, even yes, this is a young adult section, but at 8:00 there's a comic.
Yeah.
There's no restrictions. So don't come in here unless you want to hear some real shit. And I would book, and it would be so great because I could book whoever I wanted. So it would be it's always a lot of fun. And they're always free too. That was the best part. Like we would have good free shows. Could you open those blinds actually? Like all the way up. Yeah, sorry. But yeah, so we were at a bookstore in another part of Harrisburg, and we got this book called If Double Ellipses.
That sounds fun.
It's Evelyn McFarlane and James Saywell, and there's just a bunch of what if questions essentially. So we picked yours since this is episode 120. We picked from page 120, and this is going to be a fun one. This is a good one. We have plenty of these.
I feel like this is anxiety in a book.
Oh,
yeah.
Like only people who have anxiety find this fun.
One of the questions on here was like, if you could drop a nuclear bomb on one country, where would you drop it? I'm like, this is no time to
That's
ask
all.
that question. I am not asking that question right now.
Yeah, yeah. What?
It's
Why?
not even funny to joke about
No,
bombing any place right now.
horrendous.
Let's just, everybody's in their homes.
Yeah.
Nobody can evacuate. So this one's a lot more lighthearted. So I started vetting the questions a little bit better. If you had to name the dumbest purchase you've ever made, which would it be? And not even during quarantine.
Yeah, it was
all
ever.
time.
Oh man.
My dumbest
trying to
purchase
think.
as of recently, I'll give you a good example, was a green screen. Because it turns out I don't know how to use green screens.
What? You
Apparently
should be using that.
I know I should, right? But as
my
of right
God.
now, our green screen abilities are limited, and
So is it
Sure.
literally just a screen that's green?
Yeah.
Oh my god, that's great.
yeah,
Yeah. I know. I
You
think
just
that's
need the
funny
right
that-
software.
Right. I think that's funny that you find that to be your dumbest purchase. I think because you're having an issue because
I'm the dumbest.
no,
I'm the
because
dumbest.
you can't use it right now. But I told him, I was like, that's a good thing to have. Like, even if we don't have the software.
Even if you wanted a background right now for your Zoom,
Yeah,
like
Well, that's
it
why
makes
we got it. We tried. But
Yeah.
it doesn't, I think it's because we're on a Mac
yeah.
and it says specifically
try.
on the.
that look good?
Yes, that's what happens. But it says specifically you can't create a green screen on this. So that's why he bought one. He was thinking, oh, we'll do it
Okay.
that way. And then it didn't work. But
So yeah, I don't have the ability right now, but we've made much dumber purchases in the past. It wasn't so much the thing that we were talking about was not necessarily just a dumb purchase, but more of the things we would get back when we were living in Florida, when we were young and dumb and not full of any kind of money. We would get payday advances, and then we would.
that was a cycle that it was so hard to get out of.
Yeah, payday loans.
So that was my when he said what was your
That was the first thing that
That
came
was
to
I
the
mind.
think it's
first
so
thing-
hard when you first start getting money. You don't gauge how
Yeah.
quickly you could spend it.
yeah.
Yeah. Those are,
Dumbest purchase.
it's crazy. Like we've rented furniture, like rented TVs.
Yeah, but we paid it off. So like that's why
Yeah.
that doesn't
You're-
seem like a dumb
It's dumb because we paid like 3 times more than we
yeah,
should have.
Yeah. But,
But
that's the only we didn't have credit. That was the only way we could do it.
Yeah,
We were 22 and we wanted a nice
it's so hard to
TV.
build
Like,
credit. I tell all my
Yeah.
friends, I'm like, do it now. I'm like, don't be
Yeah.
dumb with your money just because you have it.
Yeah.
Where were you when we were being dumb with our money?
We wouldn't have listened to you
Um,
if you told us
yeah,
anyways. So it's fine.
But when I first moved out, I had such anxiety about my credit score. I'm an actually very anxious person. I think I keep it pretty well under wraps, but like my credit score, I was so stressed out about it And I told someone my credit score the other day, and they're like, "What the fuck is wrong with you?"
Oh wait,
I'm
wait,
like,
wait,
still
wait.
stressed out about it.
So it's not.
Yeah.
So you're stressed out about it. Like you think it's low, but it's actually somebody else was like, "Are you kidding me?"
Yeah, like I know my credit score is like fine, but I'm stressed out about student loans and things.
Yeah, just
And
making
I was like,
sure that you
my
maintain
debt
it.
Yeah.
and my debt is like not bad at all. It's like manageable. Like I will say it. My credit score is like 786, which is
Yeah.
Holy
like,
shit.
Get it, girl.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
so, and it's like I didn't have credit until I like had moved. Like I literally got a credit card so I could move out. So I didn't have credit until I was like 23,
Do you
like
want to know?
22, 23.
Do you know how separate how different we are exactly about this whole credit thing? I thought the highest your credit could go was 700.
No.
No, it's like eight
I was like,
something.
wow,
Yeah.
700. Holy shit! And you're like 786. Like that's like an A plus.
Right.
How do you
And I
do
think
that?
it's
I never
so hard.
understood
And
that.
it's like hard because like money is such a taboo topic that people don't talk about. So I was just like, I don't know what's good and what's not. And I don't know how much debt other people have. And
Right.
like you find out with like there are people like student loans or something that like they forgive when you die.
Yes.
So my
Yeah.
sister, and my sister's younger than me. She's like, why are you stressed out about that? She's like, you could have that for the rest of your life. As long as you're making payments, no one's going to come for you.
Yeah.
And like, and then there are people who like haven't filed their taxes from like 2013 and they're like, it's like, yeah, I
that
know
would
I
give
have to
me
do that
anxiety.
eventually. That would like
That would
I
drive
mean,
me. Yeah.
but like it's funny, like there are so many things that are like, yeah, you can chill on that and that's fine. You don't have to worry about that. But like when you're like you're a new adult, you're like, I don't know, I'm just gonna fuck it up.
Yeah. We talk about that all the time, that we did not have good examples for how to manage money. And I mean that's on our parents, but also school.
Yeah.
Why isn't that
Oh, for
taught?
sure.
Like throughout?
No, we're busy learning about how our government is the greatest in the world.
Yeah. Like you're not equipping me to be able to manage my life.
And now they're trapping us in our homes and they're giving us $1,200 and they're like going, figure it out. And we're like,
spend it.
what? Can I just go buy like microwave popcorn and like toilet paper? Like microwave popcorn, not toilet paper.
Yeah.
Like, okay.
I think it's so funny hearing people like being like, so it turns out the reason I didn't have any money was me. And I'm like, yes, that is in fact how that works.
That's us.
That is us. That is.
We're like, holy shit, we're really good at saving money. We're like, no, we're just not allowed to go anywhere.
Yeah. Well, and that's also the silver lining for us too, is not being able to go out to eat because we're super duper busy. Well, we
Oh
work.
yeah, for sure.
So it was so much easier just to eat out or order in or whatever. Like, and now I've found that I do really, really enjoy cooking. I just have to
I love it.
Like, that's the thing that has to happen, is we have to plan.
Well, it's like you have another person to do dishes for you. That also helps.
Yeah.
I cannot stand cooking right now because I'm like, another dish again.
Yeah. And that was one thing, like, before it was like, oh, we have to keep up with laundry, or he kept up with laundry. And now it's like laundry is almost not, it's not non-existent, but it's definitely not like it was. And now it's just dishes, constantly doing dishes.
I'm the artist. I'm the artist in the family. So I get to be the one that, I clean and everything like that. I make sure the house is in order, but I do it at my pace.
Mm-hmm.
And I make sure. So I do the dishes sometimes. I never ever dry them. They always air dry and I stack them just right.
Yep.
So
I'll stop doing dishes and be like, oh, whatever, the drying rack is full. So I'm gonna let those dry, and then I'll put those away, and then I'll come back and we'll finish the dish.
It still doesn't matter. Neither one of us are dryers. Well, like I'll be a washer, she'll be a cooker. That's cool, but like neither one of us are dryers. We're like, peasant work.
Oh yeah, I never understood movies where they have someone drying the dishes. I'm like, what are you doing? They're gonna dry.
Yeah.
Do you need the dishes right away?
Yeah. Right.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's not like in quarantine though, you kind of do. Like
a little bit.
You get done washing something and you're
Yeah.
like, holy shit, I just washed that cutting board, but I have something. Oh, yeah. I gotta get fucking dinner ready. I just finished lunch. I gotta get dinner ready though. But so I mean, you like it. You haven't like. So you have been. Not only have you been the good example, but even if it's through stress, but you don't really. It seems like I guess you don't make dumb purchases, or do you just?
I'm trying to think. I've made plenty of dumb purchases. I don't think anything of like extreme magnitude that I like regret.
Right.
Um, like, like I will say my biggest like problem when it comes to spending is books. Like I'm like a book hoarder, but I'm like I enjoy those, so it's fine.
No,
And I give away books a lot as presents. I'm trying to think. I am a big sucker for like cameras, so I bought a Polaroid camera in like Cleveland, and it was like one of these. I was like, oh, I've been looking for these forever, and it was at like an outdoor flea market.
Uh-huh.
And I was just like, what happens if it doesn't work? Because I'm not from Ohio, which I should have known was like, just don't buy it. And he was like, well, you can ship it back to us. And I hate returning things.
That's
it was only $40.
Yeah, that's my biggest thing with ordering shit online is like I wouldn't, for the longest time until I started losing weight, like I wouldn't buy clothes online.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't have a size.
Oh, women's clothing, awful to buy online unless you're like a stick and you know, like no matter, like anything will look good on you.
Yeah.
But like women's clothing is such a pain, especially because like when you go shopping, are you like the type of person who brings in like 2 or 3 sizes because you're not sure how the cut? Yeah. So I'm like, I can't order 3 different things in the same, like in different, or 3 of the same thing. Yeah. I don't have enough initiative to return it.
Yeah.
Everything should be like that Warby Parker. Isn't that Warby Parker or whatever? Where they
where you try on and you send it back.
They should send you a bunch of different pairs of pants, like different scales, and like, because there's like, it's crazy to me. Like I remember growing up, the biggest thing, not to be, hey, not to assign genders to any kind of anybody, but like women's clothes would have the buttons on the left. That's the only thing I knew about the difference between men's and women's clothes. Where
I think the zippers.
If the zipper or the thing on the left, then you're like, oh, that's a lady's shirt. So it's like, oh, okay, that's it. So, but then I learned like there's like different cuts of pants, and then there's this. I mean, there is that for men too. I guess there's different cuts of jeans and everything, but it doesn't feel like boys.
Well, I'm always jealous of men's because you just have to know your measurements.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, literally, that's what I'm saying. It's
and I'm like, why don't women do that?
I don't understand. That's what I'm saying. Is I guess that's is fashion. Is the first point. Like you guys are like, no, not to again. Not to.
And I have to say, I'm digging your fashion. As soon as you came on, I was like, "Oh, she looks like she's
I threw on a shirt. I threw on a shirt. I was just wearing this ratty tank top.
Yeah, no.
And I was just like,
I love the scrunchie, the see-through shirt.
Thank you.
Like I was like, yes, 90s, getting it.
But that's the thing is like you have like there. I guess that's like I only have to worry about like small, medium, large, pretty much. Extra large, whatever, and then like the number ones, like I was out of the number game for the longest time because I was so like, again, being overweight, either having to go to a different part of, like we get our own section, like big guy section, you know what I mean? Ladies, it feels like but no, I'm saying, but ladies is like, it's like cut off into each thing, like you said, like you size 16 isn't a size 16, or a size 6 isn't
or like I never understood how juniors got juniors got odd numbers, women got even numbers.
Yeah.
And I'm like, and then when you're like in the between state, you're like, what?
Right.
Which sizing do I use?
Right.
Yeah, I can't. That was I was talking to my therapist, and I don't remember how it got brought up, but I was like, yeah, I'm just like not feeling myself right now. And I was like, and I think it has to do with like my clothes not fitting. And she's like, well, just buy new clothes. And I was like,
isn't
it
can't. So hard to get over the mental, like there's like a fence. Like for me, when I see like a number that's bigger than the number, and I'm like, I know it doesn't matter because like the clothing, like it just sizes vary. And I was reading an article where like women's clothing follows vanity sizing, where the sizing will change every year rather than like going for like national average or whatever and gauging that as like, okay, if like the national average size of a woman is a size like 10, then like that 10 should stay consistent.
Yeah. That's a very valid point. I never even thought of that.
Wait a minute. So it changes every year?
Not like every year, but you can see change. Like I have pants that like are a size 6 for middle school. Like I don't wear a size 6 anymore, but like if I held like a size 6, and then when I was in high school I was like a size 8, and they're exactly the same. like when I put the waistbands up to each other. But like for me, I was just like, I'm gaining so much weight. I'm a dress size bigger, and like all my friends are size 4, 6, and now I'm like an 8, 10.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, actually, it's like still the same size, but like I don't know.
Yeah.
And it's like hard too when you're like ordering things online. Like obviously, whatever fits.
Right.
But it's hard. But like when people are like fashion sizing is like a 2, 4, 6, you like kind of feel bad, even though no one sees your size tag.
Yeah. I remember my mom, like growing up, I would always get really upset because I was a size 10 and my friends were like 6 and 4. And so I felt awful. So I would try to fit into like an 8, but I looked awful because I didn't fit.
Right.
My mom was like, it does not matter what the size is, just whatever fits you, you are going to look good. You're going to look thinner if you're wearing a size 10 because you're not squishing into an 8. And it was like, oh, and it didn't really click until I got older. And I'm like, yeah, nobody sees the size. I'm not like, hey, look what size my shirt is. Like, no.
I didn't even start wearing my pants correctly like until like last year, I think. like fully
men?
on like men.
Why do men wear like that's the opposite? I think for women we're always like, we need the smaller size, and then they're like, bigger, it should fall off my body.
Well, that's something that like I again just had to start dealing with, like saying like these, like I joke, it's funny too because like we were joking about like going back and doing comedy and stuff like that, and how we all miss open mics, but how we're not going to be missing open mics 3 comics in and we're hearing all their bullshit fucking Corona jokes. I've been trying to write jokes that aren't Corona related as much as possible. And again, the only thing I have really going on is I'm again trying to continue to lose weight and stuff like that. So I realized the other couple of weeks ago that there's no such thing as an overshirt. So, you know what I mean? Like I just like my whole life, I've just had shirts that didn't fit that I would wear over other shirts that didn't fit. And like, so like, that's all I have at this point is like fashion to me has been like how I wore my pants. I never wore my pants at my like waistline, like at my belly button. I didn't like, I wore them because I always had a big gut. I was holding on to the fact that I'm still a 48. I'm not a 50 like that weirdo.
But you weren't wearing pants right.
But I'm not wearing my pants right. And I'm like, what again? Like the same thing of like saying like I must look totally more normal. But if I would have been wearing 50s or a pair of pants that fit correctly, or just lost fucking weight. Do you know what I mean? Like those are like these are all options of like you guys, as long as I wasn't comfortable. As long as you're comfortable, that's the thing. Is wearing them like that and being so overweight, like they could dig into your skin, they could hurt. You know what I mean? Like all those.
Yeah,
things.
you're uncomfortable.
And it's like, and it's weird because even that could be taught in school. You know, fashion. Hey, you know where to wear your fucking.
Well,
pants.
that's yeah.
Like the fact that I like, and again, I'm so upset. Like, but I'm like, well, you know, a lot of this is on me. I should have at some point. I'm dressing myself. I should know what the fuck to wear. But it's weird. Like it's weird that I would have like I still joke about it. Like I have a picture of us on our honeymoon at a theme park going down the water thing that I still have that T-shirt that I'm wearing. I'm definitely not the same. I don't think I'm the same size.
No, but it fits you better now than it did then.
But you know what I mean? Like it's so weird. Like how I could still have clothes that I had in middle school or something like that, button-up shirts or things like that fit then, didn't fit for a while, turned into an overshirt, turned back into a regular shirt. But they're like an extra large. I'm like, but I don't wear an extra large. I wear a 2X. Like it's I had no idea. I thought it was just company to company would have different sizes and stuff like that. I didn't know it changed like every couple of years. That's crazy.
Yeah, it does change. It's called vanity sizing. It's definitely interesting, but also like infuriating.
Yeah.
That's crazy. So I guess we'll get to wrapping up. I don't want to keep it too long. I want you to be able to rest and stuff before your next. You have another call.
It is a Zoom day. I don't know how Saturday turned into a Zoom day. When Pat asked me, I was just like, yeah, my day's wide open. And then yesterday, everyone was like scheduling shit. I was like, well, I guess.
A lot of times, like that's what I would like to get back into that because I did have my podcast routine like 5 days a week. I had it set up like a job and I was traveling more and I was interacting with people more. So I do look forward to that, to being able to do these in person and stuff like that. And to be able to like, even like I'll get 6-foot cables. I'll switch out.
Yeah.
I'll do whatever I need. I don't care. I like being in the room with people, and I like being
Oh yeah, for sure.
to talk like that. Like again, the quality has been fine. Like we've been like there hasn't been a lot of lag. There hasn't been a lot of that stuff. But
Yeah, it's worked out really
the
well.
only other thing is the fact that everybody else wants to do theirs on the weekend too. So like my Saturday and Sunday always ends up being like 3 or 4 a day. And I'm doing like some I'm on mic, some I'm just producing, some I'm so a lot of times. So I do appreciate you making time in a quickly filled up day. Why don't you?
I don't know what happened.
Yeah, you're just very popular. You're very popular.
You're very
That's all it is. Why don't you tell people where they can find your stuff, like and when the before times come back, where they will be able to find your shows and everything like that. Social media.
I'm very active on social media, especially right now.
Your Instagram.
Yes, I'm on Instagram. What is my handle? It's just Ngoc.
Yeah, hold on.
Actually, I don't even know if we introduced you.
No, I didn't. I said no.
Oh, you did? Okay, good.
It's on the episode title. They.
Well, right.
Yeah, so I'm on Instagram. I use Twitter heavily, which I think goes back. I was just like, man, I know no one cares about my trash thoughts on the internet, but I think right now I'm just like, do I really need to be like spewing opinions?
You do
right now,
yes.
but yeah, I'm heavily on Twitter and Instagram.
All right, perfect. And wife?
I'm on Instagram, wife_George.
Hell yeah.
You can follow me on there. That's where I'm most active. Mainly my stories. I realized that the other day.
I love Instagram stories.
Yeah,
I think when they're they're 15 seconds of comedy.
Yeah,
I think if you can make a story funny, it just feels nice. And also it's like I use stories much more heavily than I do posts. And I think it's just nice that it's ephemeral. And also, I definitely notice that I struggle with validating myself on the internet.
Yeah.
Where if I get in the habit of posting regularly, I start looking at my likes and it doesn't matter. And to me, it does for me, I no likes mean nothing. It's just whether or not someone stopped long enough to double tap.
Right.
But you get in the habit of gauging yourself by oh, I didn't get as many likes. What's wrong with my content? Whereas with stories, it's just I don't know who's. I mean, I guess you can check who's watching it, but I'm I don't really care if they're watching it. But also, it doesn't count as a like or anything.
I found I always get to the views. I always end up breaking it down somehow and ruining it for myself. But I get down to where I'm okay, they watched.
What happened to Instagram taking that away? Weren't they going to take that away?
Oh, maybe.
Oh, they should.
Yeah, they were said. I thought both like December or January, they were saying they were going to get rid of likes.
That's weird.
Oh no, okay, yeah. So I think they're supposed to get rid of likes. I don't know if it's happened yet.
Yeah, it definitely hasn't.
But here's the thing: that only gets rid of likes on other people's posts. So if I were looking at your post, I wouldn't be able to see who liked it, which is supposed to encourage me to like it or just move along and not feel guilty about it. But you, as a person, could see the amount of likes, which I'm just that doesn't help me.
Yeah, that doesn't.
I don't see any of it.
They still see it.
Yeah.
I the thing I don't like, the only thing that kind of makes me feel a little shitty is when you can see that it has this many views, like a video.
I will fall guilty to that.
Likes. Yeah. So I'll be like, oh yeah, this many 68 people viewed your thing. 4 people liked it. And you're like, oh.
Well, I think that too, got me. So I've made better, I was you know what? I don't really enjoy posting that much. It gives me anxiety about gauging whether or not people are looking at it. Obviously I will post for promotional stuff.
Yeah.
But it would get and it's promotional posts never get as much activity as you, if you were just posting a photo of yourself or you doing something.
Oh yeah, definitely. Pat says that all the time. He's like, everyone likes you so much more. He's like, I get 100 likes on something that of us together. But even if it's a podcast, we don't get that many likes. But yeah, when you're promoting something,
so I think that the algorithm too will post. So I learned this because I'm a psycho. But they're it pushes your post if you get engagement within the first 10 to 15 minutes.
Oh.
So like if you're getting a lot of likes within that first span, Instagram's going to push it. So like usually it's like, oh yeah, I'm going to like a post where I see my friends' faces faster than I would something where I'm going to have to read the caption.
Yeah.
And it's like, I think Instagram also will push anything that has a face in it.
That makes
rather
sense.
than like a screenshot or like a poster, which is so annoying.
Yeah.
It's all important.
Right, it is. If I'm posting it, that I'm saying this is important, so just give it equally the same amount of, whatever attention.
And it like fuels my narcissism when I like, because I'm like, I know, like if I need engagement or I need something else to be boosted, I have to put my face in it.
Yeah.
So then I'm just worried about how I look all the time when I post.
That's so true. You're right. That should be the other way around. At least for people like us. I can relate with that so much.
Right. I'll be like, well, if I post my face, I'll know I'll hit 100 easily.
Oh my gosh, that's crazy.
Yeah,
I don't know what to say.
I don't know. We should just talk about that.
Shit, he's here.
We're talking about the because I am a psycho, I figured out how the Instagram algorithm works.
Yeah.
So I was just saying promotional posts like never get as much, which I think fuels my narcissism. Because I'm like, I know if I need engagement or something that needs attention, I have to post a selfie, which is like not good for my brain.
Yeah, not good for mine either.
Well,
thank you so much for coming on.
Yeah, this was fun.
Thank you so much. And speaking of Instagram algorithms, I'm at PG Comedian, and
yeah.
I don't post a ton of selfies there myself, but I do find that, like you said, they do get more likes sometimes because they got
look at that mug.
Look at that. You can't help it. This one?
No.
This is the one she's talking about.
No, I'm talking about your face.
Oh, okay.
All right, we'll let you go. Thank you so much.
Yeah, have a good weekend.
You too. See you soon, hopefully.
Oh, I hope.